Almost everything is connected in Widow's Bay. The display in the historical society, the paintings on the walls, as we've said before, everything is set up to tell a story that comes together at the end of the day as the scattered pieces begin to form a bigger picture. In the first scene, there is a fog. Shep, a sailor from Widow's Bay, is the first to see it, and from within the fog comes the eerie sound of migrating birds. We then discover that the island is prone to plagues that always start with a fog and earthquake as the first signs. Then strange things begin to occur, people's eyes turn white. This can be seen in the pictures that Wick shows to Tom and also on display at the Historical Society. And so this display becomes sort of a historical tour, containing images that depict the major ways the evil entity plagues this island, and from the beginning we were given these images as clues to what was to unfold and also that which has occurred in times past. Another natural phenomenon yet to occur is a storm, therefore we can expect this to happen further down. At the Historical Society, Jerry tells the reporter in episode 1 that a lot of men used to be gone for whaling expeditions for an extended period of time, sometimes even years, and most of them never came back. As we've come to see, the sailors of Widow's Bay do not go past certain points at sea, so we can conclude that most of the men who never made it back had some unfortunate things happen to them after getting past the supernatural boundaries. This is evident by the amount of paintings that depict shipwrecks scattered across Widow's Bay.
The witch trial, yeah.
They have had witch trials in the past, and now the question is, were those witches even acting on their own accord? After seeing how Patricia was called and hypnotized by this book that turned out to be a book of spells, it is more probable that they were all under the influence of the entity that rules this island. There was a bonfire, and we are not sure if Patricia is the one who made it, but of course, this is also seen on display at the Historical Society. In the first video, we were also able to predict whatever Wick saw when he was younger, when we saw the tentacles in the image on display, and the sign at the restaurant that led us to the movie Don't Give Up the Ship, where a kraken or giant squid was involved in stopping the character's effort to recover a ship. I did say kraken because that was the description in the movie, but it was always going to be a sea monster with tentacles as the image depicts. Wick talks about the eyes that turn white as part of the progression of the strange occurrences, and we see this in Shep at the hospital, and we also see this in one of the images on display where a man dies beside his horse. Shep was the first person whose eyes turned white and the only one so far. We also see something strange, Shep's age listed as 37. This island also seems to have a history of priests dying. This could be a curse on the priests, as the original priest was involved in, well, disturbing the pact made with the founder Richard Warren. Richard Warren is played by Hamish Linklater, who you may remember from The Midnight Mass, another TV show about a haunted island. You might want to check that out, but he was a priest on that show as well. In episode 1, we see Tom holding a wolf-themed calendar, and he is surprised because the only page that is different is the one for July, the summer where he planned to start taking in tourists. This might be the reason the island woke up again, a chance to feed on more people, to add more souls somehow, or maybe as even an attempt to keep people out. But with the hunger that this island shows, it might just be a desire for more souls. We are yet to know how most of these items fit in. They most likely fit in somehow though. We do know that some of the items belonged to Warren's children. In episode 2, we establish a few things. In the captain's suite, time passes differently, at least in the minds of those who enter. They seem to enter into a hallucinatory state where things occur that are very real to them, and they are not able to distinguish between whatever happened inside there and reality.
What the fuck? I thought we said 10 seconds.
Well, that was 10. How long do you think you were in there?
10 seconds?
It is proven beyond doubt that Tom never met anyone and played board games alone, but he is sure he played them with another guest. The room also looked like a mess when the innkeeper came out, so the question is if something strange happens just in their heads, or if time actually passes differently in there, and the room is like a door into another realm or reality, kind of like the room in The Haunting of Hill House, where the room stays the same on the outside, but stranger things occur on the inside until the door is opened again. The owner of the inn looks disheveled each time he came out of the inn and was unable to tell how long he had stayed in there. This could just be the entity preying on the minds of everyone who goes into the room. If you haven't noticed, there's a lot of psychological torture that goes on in the hauntings of Widow's Bay. Many are said to have become delirious before passing. In Tom's own experience, he is haunted by what we can assume is the killer clown in a crawl space, where he also sees a skeleton. One mystery yet to be solved is that of the church bell. If the bell is chained and secure, which bell is heard ringing? The old church leaders must have installed a fail-safe attached to the underground chamber, something that causes a bell to toll. To make that effective, you'd have to restrict access to the regular bell so that when the bell tolls, it is definitely a warning sign of impending danger to whoever is the keeper of the secrets of Widow's Bay. Therefore, the one secure must never be allowed to toll. The priest must have uncovered this fact and killed himself either as some form of sacrifice or just because he was overwhelmed due to all the new details uncovered. This begs the question, what was in the underground chamber? We then get this piece of the puzzle. Richard Warren's children didn't all die, but somebody survived. We get this through a picture Tom was looking at the haunted inn where a child is separated from the rest of the group. Now we're even more suspicious of Evan and his mother, whose death still remains a mystery, a known unknown. And because we are not sure of how she died, maybe she didn't die at all. Tom has been lying to his son, and it is revealed that she never died at childbirth as he said, but she is seen in his baby pictures. Tom also says he never believed in the town's superstitions, but like we said in the first video, that has been a lie because he has never left the island. He hates it so much, and so does his son, but he never has attempted to take his son away from the place. Something mysterious happened to her at childbirth, and Tom knows it. If Evan's mother got married to a descendant of Warren, or got pregnant for one, not only could the child be a child of covenant, it could also be that she was bound to whoever the father was. She might even be a descendant. While the island will not let anyone leave, eventually killing them at some point when they do,
the other one let them leave.
It specifically will try to keep Warren and his bloodline from leaving at all. A lot of strange things occurred leading up to Evan's birth, and this might have something to do with the evil entity that plagues this island. So who is in the underground prison? We cannot say, but it is most likely another descendant of Richard Warren, locked up and alive, just like his ancestor. Some people actually believe it is Evan's mother. And the bell might not just be signifying a plague, but his release from his shackles. Because of that bell, the priest does his research, and that leads him to this old well opening, which we know through Sarah also leads to the underground chamber. Upon confirming its existence, he must have been so overwhelmed that he committed suicide. He discovered certain things through eating the same mushrooms that Richard Warren ate when he came to the island first, his eyes being open to all the evil of the land. Eating this mushroom is also something that makes the evil entity call to you, speak to you, as Tom says.
I felt a presence.
So he must have had direct contact with this evil entity like Richard and Tom. We know he has to make sacrifices to the entity. The 43rd passenger may be someone who was sacrificed to seal the blood covenant and give Richard access to harness the powers as long as he fed the entity from time to time with the blood of citizens.
Sacrifice life. Fulfill the pact, and the plagues will stop.
And plagues would occur when it needed more souls or more life to feed on. Another observation is that this chamber was already present when Richard Warren was alive, and he seems to have dragged that man he killed in there. So it is safe to assume that this is where he makes sacrifices to the entity. Richard's wife, Sarah, gave his daughter Frances her brooch. This picture we see in the inn makes us wonder if there is a connection there as well, if it is some version of Richard's cylinder, this time a different one for another Warren, a sign of their covenant. Also, why is this entity obsessed with teeth? Why is there a game designed to pull out teeth? Lastly, let's talk about all the people this show pays homage to. Firstly, Stephen King and his work in the horror genre, the Antler Queen from Yellow Jacket, through Patricia. The show also draws from The Haunting of Hill House to an extent, and even incorporates the idea of black mode, a device used in horror movies or shows to question the reality of all the things we witness. It begs the question if the problem is more psychological. What's up with the teeth? Who is the 43rd passenger? What other references or Easter eggs did we miss? What are your thoughts on all this? Please let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.